now that you have your basic tools down for the activity that you're going to do, which is based a little bit, it's very loosely based in Islamic tiling, and it really is just super loose because the square that I've given you is not a perfect square. I've cut it myself, so it's not perfect, and so it's really important that you use your block to trace and then put your name on your block so that, and your cabinet number on your block, so that you get the same block back. You don't want to just trace it and then come get a different block the next day, because they are not exactly the same. So the first thing you're going to want to do after you get your block and you put your name and your cabinet number on the side is you're going to want to trace it several times. I'd say at least 3. And then you're going to practice creating a design that you're going to use for your tile. And we're going to practice using our tools using this tile so you can get the swing of kind of making block prints with our linoleum tools. Okay, so I've traced mine 4 times, however many times is good. And then you're just going to come in and make a design using a pencil. You can use your you can use a ruler, you can use a compass, you can use a circle maker, whatever you want to do to create your tile. So one thing that's good to do is to divide it in half, and one way you can do that obviously is to cut it out and then to do your design on the cutout square already. That works pretty slick. You don't have to do that, but you can. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make a curve from this corner to this corner like this for my tile. I'm going to keep it pretty simple, and then I'm just going to go like this. I want to go along the edge a little bit more like this. Actually, maybe I'll come out a little further than that, like that, and maybe I'll even keep that first curve like this and like this, and then maybe like this. I don't know, we'll see. I want that to be a little bit more equal though, so like that. So this might be the first one that I try doing, and I'm not going to do a ton of these because I just want to make this a demo video, not the end-all be-all kind of video. So that might be my design right there. That might be all she rates, right? Something simple like that. Then what I want to do is I want to transfer this image. You're going to do more than one. I'm just doing one, just so you know. You're going to do more than one, so you can pick out your best image. But you can then take this and transfer it on here, which I'll show you how to do in a moment. I'm actually going to do another series of little marks here. Maybe something like that. I think that looks okay. I wish this pointed more directly at this corner, but it doesn't. So wish in one hand and spit in the other and see which one fills up, right? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Try to be pretty precise so it'll fit right on your block. And when we transfer it, we're going to transfer it in reverse. It's not going to matter so much with this one because it's not like it's a letter or a number or anything like that. But if it had a letter or a number, you want it to be in reverse because then when you print it, it will be right side facing. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it on my block. Now, it's important that it's on the block facing the right direction, which I think is on this side. So you're going to have to try to work with it till it fits the block properly. And if I did it correctly, it should fit my block properly. And then I'm just going to quick transfer by adding pressure to the back of this with my pencil. I don't want it to move around. I got to hold it pretty steady. And it doesn't really matter if I go multiple directions when I'm doing this step. I just don't want it to move. Okay? And I try really hard not to go through it, through the paper, because if I do, I'm going to make a mark on the front of my block with my pencil. And then when I'm all done, if I lift it up, it's on there. So you can see that there. The next step I'm going to take is I'm going to take a Sharpie. This would be the Sharpie that I write my name and my cabinet number on here. And I'm just going to put, you know, your cab number. You're going to write just the number, okay? Then I'm going to trace over my design. I'm going to tidy it up a little bit so that it fits the way I want it to, like that. And then I'm going to actually make that just a little smaller, I think, like that. And then like that. So there's my tile. From there, I'm going to use my lining tool, and I'm not going to go right on my line. Here's what's really important to understand is that whatever you remove will be the color of the paper. Whatever you leave behind will be the color of your marker or your ink. So you want to be mindful that you understand that as you're cutting, you're creating a path for the white of your paper to show up, or areas, regions for the white of your paper to show up. I'm not doing this to take away the line as much as I am just to identify the areas that I'm going to remove so that it can be the white of the paper. So I'm going to remove this background here, right? So I'm going to put my little blade down. I'm going to take my other V-gouge, and I'm just going to come in where I was, and I'm going to remove that area. I don't need to take and make it super deep, right? The cool thing about these blades, or not these blades, these tiles, is that you have a back. So you have the other side of this, so that if you do a good job on your first print, you have the back to do whatever you want to for a subsequent print of your own or stamp of your own. Now, if you mess up this front, then the back is for you to do this over, right? So you get 2 chances ultimately to make a cool tile, but if you only use one of your chances, then you can have that for your own means, okay? So to match this to this, I'm going to carve out with my line tool around that same kind of shape that I had on the other side, along the inside of the line and along the outside of this shape. Ooh, I gouged too deep, so it's going to be a little deep there. That's okay. Always carving away from my fingers. Notice I hold my tool a little bit like it's a pen, but then I'm pushing, okay? And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to remove the rest of this. Now, you might not need to do that line tool. Like, I probably don't need to use the line tool, but I want you to develop that habit. So I'm going to move my arm like this, just so I can get into that edge. Now I'm going to go this way and remove that area and remove this area like so. Okay, so this is the first part of cutting out your tile. If you're like me, I like to test my tile a lot. So my next step, I'm probably not going to remove much, but I am going to take my line tool and kind of think about where I might want to remove more information. And I think I would like to remove this and maybe this. So this would be pretty as color though, but so would this. So I got to think about how I want that to work. So I think I'm not going to use that. I'm going to go here on the inside of this, and I'm just going to smoothly go around like that. I got to rotate my block so I don't carve toward my fingers. You'll find lots of video demos online. I know I did, of people carving right toward their fingers, and it makes me cringe, okay? So I've removed just a line around that so I can see it. And I think I want to remove this. So I'm going to go here, and I want to make sure that I remove around this line, but I want to leave this as a line, okay, so that it will print. So I'm going to go like that, then I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to do a real quick test of this. And the reason I want to do that is just so I can see what I'm working with a little bit. I got crap markers up here, but it's okay. So we're not going to use printmaking ink for this. We're just going to use a marker. It does matter if you change your direction with the marker, because it'll show up ugly if you change your directions a lot. But I'm going to go as quickly as I can. With you guys, I want you to take your time a little more, but you don't want to take so much time that the ink dries. You might need to dip your markers in a little water periodically. And I'm just going to press that on there so I can see what my print looks like. I definitely need to do something in here. That's going to drive me crazy. I like the way these look. And now I can look at this and I can determine what I want to remove. And what you're going to do is, after you're done, you're going to do a rotation of this. So you'll print it. This is the way I printed it here. Then I would rotate it here, I think is the way I want to rotate it. It's not going to show up very well, but like that. You would always re-ink it, and then you would rotate it again. Re-inking, though. I'm not re-inking. Like that, and then rotate it again. Remember, I would still be removing more information from this, and I would be taking a lot more time, but I'm just doing a quick demo. So we would wind up with a little bit of a pattern. That is your first activity.